Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Longest and welcome to another what I want to talk about. And this one is on another fan fiction. Well, when I made my last one, I was gonna go straight toward talking about the spirit shipping fan fictions, especially since, as you can see, 3/4 of nearly 80% of this page is filled with GX related content. I was gonna go over it and talk about some of the good ones on this thing, as well as some of the more incomplete stories, which have yet to be finished, or even the ones that I rate as pretty damn good so far. Cause on fanfiction alone, depending on how you look for the stories, it could be between 300 and almost 350 stories on spirit shipping alone. And that's not adding what you can find on Wattpad either. No, this is just on here alone. I will say there's a lot that is incomplete, and that's a drag depending on the story you're reading, because some of these stories I wish they'd get finished, but considering that some of these stories are nearly 10 years old, the likelihood of them ever being finished is doubtful at best. But there's one I wanted to talk about before I get to the GX one, and this is another simple Yu-Gi-Oh story. I want to talk about this one because, well, considering the last video I talking about one of the most detailed stories ever written on Yu-Gi-Oh, this one is practically the longest one that I've ever read on anything. And what I mean by longest is it's got the most chapters for the story. And for a story like this, it actually doesn't need the many chapters. The author just wrote it this way. And it's a really interesting one. It's called It's in Your Eyes by Sen, White Fox, Mako, Red Demon. As you can see, I've read several of their stories, and their stories are pretty damn good. I think 3 of these, well, 4 of these that I read are finished. Never Too Late is unfinished. It seems like a one-shot, but, well, technically it is a one-shot, but the person did not write it into it, so it's incomplete. Like, it ends where it shouldn't, because it's like, I don't like the fact that it's incomplete. Like, there's nothing resolved in it, but the ending, it makes you wish there was more to it. But the author just wrote it with a cliffhanger and didn't think to add more to it, which is kind of depressing for me. I like stories that actually have some kind of end, or something that has a significant ending. That one sadly does not, but I will get to more of those later. As you can see, I have a sort of a running theme on these lists. Like, you can see there's about a dozen or so names written here. We'll get to that when I actually get to talking about the GX stuff. For now, let's go ahead and talk about It's in Your Eyes. It's in Your Eyes is original Yu-Gi-Oh idea. It basically has its own premise from start to end on what happens in it. It's in your eyes. Her life was on a repeat cycle of pain and misery. Nothing was any different when she got nearly run over. Or has it? Turns out Kaiba has a cousin, a hot Egyptian cousin, who seems curious about the adorable little angel with rotten luck. Can Yami show Yugi there is hope for her to obtain happiness in her depressing life, or will he be like all the others? Yes, it is gender bend roles that Yugi is the girl for the story. Though it doesn't make that much of a difference because, well, that's in your case. It doesn't make if it doesn't make much of a difference to you for one character be gender bend and one non, even though it's originally supposed to be like a gay shipping, it doesn't matter. At least to me, it doesn't matter because it fucking works with it. The story is pretty damn good. As I can state, 62 chapters. It's got 1,000 and almost 20, almost 1,020 words in it. Ugh, stumbling on my own words. It's got lots of reviews. It's got good faves and low follows. Well, this is updated 2 years ago, and it was made 3 years before that. So it took this person 3 years to write 62 chapters. To be fair, I wrote about 30. No. Yeah, about 30 in about a couple months. So, yeah, because those 2 solid stories and then the ones I haven't finished, as you can see. I wrote too damn much in a short amount of time. That's why I'm so burned out. I can't even think of anything to write. Well, I've been coming up with stuff, but I will get to that towards the end of the video. Anyway, let's talk about this story. The story it talks about, in the third point of view, about Yugi and her life. She's on a secret. She is one of the few characters. Well, this is one of the few times I've seen bullying taken so damn far in any kind of format, especially a fan fiction. Usually, if it's in a fan fiction, it tends to be lamed to a certain degree. But no, this one is taken pretty much too far. The poor thing is miserable nearly 24/7. She comes home with bruises. Her grandpa doesn't know a damn thing. Nobody knows anything. And it's terrible. It's just awful. And the fact that she nearly gets run over on her way to school makes that even semi worse. The story is pretty bare bones of a high school setting, everything. The drama is between what happens with going on around Yugi and the people she interacts with. Because you got Yami, you got Seto being his cousin, and then you got his older brother Atem, who they both lived together in the what was it, an apartment? Upstairs apartment? I don't remember. The details are slipping my brain. I just finished this like 2 or 3 days ago, but before I made that video, and I've wanted to talk about it this ever since. Ugh. The details are slipping my brain slowly. But anyway, yeah, the minute from step 1, when Yami arrives in school, basically curiosity killed the cat with this guy, because he's downright interested in her and why she has this solemn look on life. Just a complete sadness in her face, in her body, and everything. It's like, how could you be this broken and miserable? It makes people wonder. But yeah, the minute he gets there, she has to show him around school, and they kinda hit it off somewhat. She's more reluctant to be around him because of the negative attention she tends to get, and she doesn't exactly want that kind of attention, especially when the hot new student is the one everyone's paying attention to. So yeah, it's kind of in a way. But yeah, she soon gets picked on by the usual people, as we always know, Joey and Tristan. She gets picked on them, and they mess with her a bit before Yami actually comes and intervenes. It's pretty basic uh bully scenario with these two actually pretending to actually want to bully her, only doing it to so she get strong. Same way it was in season 0, the way they were doing it with Yugi and everything. It basically plays sort of like the first few chapters play like that, where you're like, okay, so it's gonna go this route, but it's not completely all the way there. Uh, Things tend to change, and things do be different. Like, like, uh, yeah, my brain seems to be failing me apparently right now. So give me a sec. So yeah, what I was trying to say is, yeah, the typical bully scenario is all there and everything, including her getting bullied and picked on by Ushio. I think that's how you say his name, Ushio. Yeah, you get picked on by him, and uh, just a brain again. She gets picked on, but it's way worse in this story because she's nearly the R word. Yeah, she's nearly that. And she's only saved because the person she was supposed to have visited who got sick was none other than Yami, and he basically didn't like he didn't like the fact that she had been running late. So while his brother went out to get groceries, he snuck out of the house, ran to the school, and nearly saw Yugi being R, and basically beat the shit out of Ushio before calling the police and calling an ambulance. You're like wondering, why didn't Joey or Tristan do anything? Well, written in this story, Tristan broke an arm and Joey broke his leg. So they were completely defenseless and unable to help her. But this story, I can't say the entire thing because it's interesting to a point. You get the traditional kind of somewhat there, somewhat hinted at cutesy romance that goes on. Then you got the underlying secrets that both of them have. One being about the death of Yugi's childhood friend and the trauma that it left behind. Well, you got Yami and his unbearable parents who been trying to control him and his brother's lives since forever. But it's interesting stuff. It's really okay. It should be like the kind of story uh for this kind of situation. I say it's about 8 out of 10, depending on how you like high school stories. I'm okay with them because hell, I miss high school. I would do anything to live live vicariously through characters in stories like this. Fuck, I miss it so much. being an adult is not all it's cracked up to be, and I miss those days. But that story is really good. If you want to check it out, I recommend. I recommend. It's a good solid read. Took me 2 days to read the whole damn thing because besides the chapters being fairly short, there's a lot of details to pay attention to. And it's really good. I like the details a lot. And it makes it interesting. But I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you say? Go ahead and go check it out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.